Hey guys, it's Thursday, January 5th, and this is Newswave. So the first thing today is Mass Effect Andromeda now has a release date. It's coming out March 21st, 2017, so it'll be out in a couple months, and it's gonna come out later on in the month, probably around, honestly, when the Switch comes out, from what we're hearing. And it's good because we were kind of worried, I think a lot of us were, that Mass Effect would actually start to kind of show up later on in the year, maybe in the fall. It's good to see that it's coming out sooner than later, and March is a good time. That's a month when a lot of games do come out anyway. And this was revealed over on their website, masseffect.com, by Aaron Flynn. He's a general manager of BioWare. So BioWare, EA have a tentative date. I don't want to say solid because we saw what happened with Final Fantasy 15, where it was pushed to, back from September to December out of nowhere. So it's coming. And it looks like it's in March, but don't take it as, I guess, serious as it could be because it could always be pushed back. But right now, March 21st, 2017 is Mass Effect Andromeda. And in an interview with Xbox Official Magazine for January 2017, Capcom's Hajime Hiroshi actually talked about Resident Evil 7 and how it's going to be different from the previous Resident Evils. Now, of course, Resident Evil kind of went from being the crazy horror game that was terrifying into kind of more of an action-based game. I mean, you were more running and gunning than you should be later on. Obviously, Resident Evil 6, Operation Raccoon City, it was less of a horror-type game and more of a shooting game. And it looks like this new one, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, is going to go back to its roots and be a much more scary, terrifying, helpless feeling game, if you will. And he does go on to say that it's going to be the hardest Resident Evil because even one enemy could kill you, and it's supposed to be very difficult. It's supposed to be more of a feeling, like I said, of helplessness, of being scary, and that's going to really, really aid the VR experience if one enemy could just wipe you out, and it's supposed to obviously scare you. Jump scares, all that stuff's going to happen. I'm very happy that Resident Evil is becoming what it was before, which was a terrifying game, more like along the lines, hopefully, of like a PT or Silent Hills, rather than try to get closer like Gears of War. So I'm happy we're going to see a Resident Evil that is more old school, if you will. It's going to be more from the roots, so I'm very happy. And today, Diablo 3 gets that big update they talked about back at BlizzCon, where you'll have a dungeon that is going to let you kind of relive the feel of the original Diablo game. Basically, this update is going to kind of give you the ability to go back through some of the different levels from the first Diablo game. They're going to add, obviously, retro-style graphics, sound effects, old-school UI, just stuff we remember from way back in the day. If you remember, for the original Diablo on like Windows 98, it was much older time, obviously, but they're at least giving us that retro feel. It's only going to be available, from what they're saying, through the month of January, and then it'll kind of come back during any of the other anniversary times, like anything that marks the anniversary, they'll probably give it to us again. But if you're a big Diablo fan, I would check it out. It should be live now on PS4, Xbox One, PC, and you can go download it, part of the update. It looks really neat. If you're a big fan of the original Diablo, I'd check it out. And unsurprising to anyone, Devil's Third, game for the Wii U that is still, for some reason, really hard to find. I don't know if that's just because a lot of them weren't made or what, but I know at one point they were getting up to over $100 because they were so hard to find. Again, I don't know why. Anyway, Nintendo has officially shut down the server, so there's no more online or anything for it. It's officially discontinued at this point. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. I'm actually more surprised that they were still up and running, considering the game it wasn't very good in the first place, according to a lot of people, and I can't imagine the online was very active. So at this point, though, servers are shut down, and I assume they're just moving on to the Switch. So this next story is pretty funny. Okay, so Forza Horizon 3 on the Xbox One and the PC has been going through a lot of updates, and for some reason, somebody in the office messed up, and instead of giving you the correct update, they gave everyone access to the developer's build. Now, the developer's build basically has all of the files unlocked, and they use that to test different cars, things they're going to implement into the game, tracks. They can basically work on everything all at once. When they give us the game, certain files are encrypted and you can't look at them. But in this case, they gave us the wrong version. Somebody in the office hit the wrong button, I guess. I don't know. And all of a sudden, we have a game that is the developer's build with everything open and unencrypted. So, of course, fans go through it, and they find that there is an entire section for new cars probably coming up that included mostly all the different Porsche series cars. So it looks like there's going to be some kind of DLC coming out or add-on content where you can buy different series of Porsche cars, which is cool. Also worth noting that if you saved while you were using that developer build, your save is then corrupted. So a lot of people were upset because their saves were basically destroyed and erased. So if you had all these cars and money, it's all gone now. They did already fix it though, and of course it was really funny. Their statement was, "Oh, if you have the developer build, just go ahead and uninstall that. Don't worry about it. Just uninstall it. Grab the other version from the store. Pretend you never saw it. It's okay." And of course, everyone that downloaded it, at least that wanted to look through the files or wanted to have a copy of it, they're just going to keep it and they'll just tuck it away on a computer somewhere. But you cannot save your game there. If you save, you're going to erase your old save. So do not save if you have it for some reason. Uninstall it, reinstall the new one, and your save will still be there. Oh, and if you're a fan of Assassin's Creed, or you want to at least try Assassin's Creed, maybe you have not had a chance to play it at all, maybe you never got around to it, and you don't have any of them, right now, Humble Bundle, if you don't know what Humble Bundle is, you really need to find out about this, because it is a really cool thing they do on their website, where you can go on there, different companies will give them games, essentially, that can be used to gross revenue for, like, donations for different organizations. A lot of times, it's Child's Play, and it's really cool calls. And what happens is you can get packs of games for cheap. Like, you can pay $10. You can even pick where you want the money to go, whether you want all of it to go to charity, maybe you want 10% of it to go to like Ubisoft and another 90% to go to charity, or split it. You can do whatever you want. But what's great is right now they're giving Assassin's Creed games to you for your donations. So if you've wanted to try Assassin's Creed, I think like $15 gets you like 5 or 6 Assassin's Creed games, which is crazy, or you can pay like $1 and get 3 of them. But it's worth checking out. If you didn't know about Humble Bundle, just go ahead and bookmark it when you're there, because they do this all the time for a ton of different games. I pretty much buy every one as a donation, but I end up getting tons of games. Now, the one bad side effect about this is you will need Uplay to play Assassin's Creed, and I know a lot of people just only want Steam. They don't want that another program that comes up that you buy stuff from or load stuff from. We all just want to use Steam at this point because it's easy. But if you want to try Assassin's Creed, you could throw $1 in and get the first Assassin's Creed, and I think Liberation is the other one. I think for $5 you get like 3 and others. So check it out if you're looking for Assassin's Creed, or if you just want to put a donation in, you might as well. You get a game for it too. And as of today, Pokemon Snap is available on the Wii U, on the Virtual Console. Now, I could never figure out why they never made a sequel to Pokemon Snap with the Wii U. It felt like the best time to do it, considering you have the tablet, which could act as the camera when you hold it up to the screen. Remember when they did that whole presentation where you could do all this crazy stuff with the tablet? I don't know why Pokemon Snap wasn't the first thing that popped in their head to remake. But either way, it's available on the Virtual Console now. You can go download it and buy it. It's $10. I know it was already available anyway on, I believe, the original Wii, but it's out again on the Wii U. If you haven't played it, it's a good game. It's $10. It's Pokemon. Did you know that Intel was making their own virtual reality headset? Yep, so they're making their own headset, and it actually looks more advanced than the Vive and the Oculus Rift at this point. Now, what separates basically those 3 headsets, Intel's is going to be open source for other companies to make, so they're probably kind of banking on maybe Asus or Acer or somebody else to really start picking up kind of the build to make these things and mass produce them. But what's cool is theirs is going to be completely wireless, so you will not be tethered to a computer at all. All the hardware is actually going to be in the headset, and it actually has the ability to show you things that are in the room with you, and you can actually even see like your hands in real time while you're playing. You can see your hands, you can see objects in the room, and it's kind of a mix between augmented reality and virtual reality. It's kind of a cool concept. Now, they'll definitely be showing it at CES this weekend, and they're talking about trying to get production and stuff going this year, so maybe we can see it at Christmas time or early 2018 at this point. I don't really know what's going to be in the headset to power that thing. I assume it would have to be some kind of ARM processor and some kind of GPU, maybe a Tegra even. It's really hard to say, but keep in mind, Intel does like to keep their stuff closed, so maybe it's one of their in-house GPUs that they have kind of made up for like the Atom processor, like Cherry Trail. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm hoping they do put some specs out. They have been very tight-lipped about that, but like I said, they want Asus, they want Acer, they want other companies to make this thing and then produce it. But it looks like a much more, honestly, I think, a much more advanced, I think, better idea than Vive or Oculus because of the way it can kind of interact with the world around us. And the last bit of news today involves Mario Run. Numbers were released. Wall Street Journal basically had numbers from sales analysis and everything, and they actually came out and said that Mario Run has now grossed $30 million. Keep in mind, this is from 90 million downloads, though, so that only means that 3 million people have actually paid for it, which is, close to about 3%. that's not, I guess that's an okay conversion rate. A lot of people are going to download for free because you just had to hit a button and download and try the first few levels. But that's a lot of money for a mobile game like this that is just a straight release. It's not a free-to-play game. 30 million is pretty good. Honestly, if you release that, if you release a normal game and make 30 million back, that's not bad. It isn't. But 30 million, Mario Run, their first shot at a mobile game is, to me, that's probably a success, despite the low conversion rate. If it wasn't free, there would be no such thing as conversion rates. So 30 million is 30 million, I guess, to them. That's going to do it for Newswave today, guys. Make sure you're keeping an eye on CES. I'm sure all kinds of cool tech will start coming out. We'll talk about some of the cool tech tomorrow, too, because I'm sure a lot of it will start showing up. And going into the weekend, we'll probably have a whole weekend episode where we talk about CES. And we'll also do some gameplay stuff this weekend as well. And we'll also do an AMA and everything too. So it's going to be a very busy weekend for me this weekend. But keep it on the channel. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys tomorrow for more Newswave.